to the PodcAls. I'm Joey Alfieri with you every Tuesday in English, every Thursday in French. We're back twice a week, looking ahead to Alouettes football, which is not so far away. We're just, I guess, can we say we're exactly 2 months away from the start of training camp? I believe as of the moment of this recording, it's Tuesday afternoon, we are 100 days away from the regular season home opener. I want to say 100 days. I think that makes sense. But yeah, it's been an absolutely jam-packed offseason. We've got a lot to get to over the next few weeks as we're going to get you ramped up to the season. But really special guest joining us this week. Really excited. Last week, we have back-to-back NFL players. We had Austin Mack last week. If you missed the podcast with Austin Mack, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Austin was outstanding, really generous with his time. And we're going back to the NFL and we're going to talk to Lwal Uguak, who signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get to that in just a couple minutes. Just get an update on him. I know he's out living in Edmonton. That's where he's from. Incredible story. A guy who came in, was a rotational player on defense and really excelled. And then, there was a turning point in the second half of the year. It's kind of like, it's funny. I know the defense wasn't a one-man unit, but when they made the switch and Uguak got more playing time, it seemed like everything else kind of came into place. I know the arrival of Sean Lemon helped a lot. The arrival of Darnell Sankey helped a lot. People don't talk about Lwal Uguak's arrival as a full-time, defensive player. That helped shape the defense as well. I feel like it's an underrated part of the season. I think, there's nothing about Uguak that's underrated. I think everybody who watched the games realized what kind of an impact he had on the Alouettes defense. I mean, there's just these moments where, you can think of batted down balls and forced fumble in his hometown of Edmonton that resulted, if I'm not mistaken, in a Mustafa Johnson scoop and score that helped change the game. He had the huge hit in the Grey Cup game on Brady Oliveira. So, I mean, it's not, sometimes we think of, defensive ends and their importance to the team coming in the form of sacks, but I think Lwal Uguak and those long arms, that wingspan is just crazy. But we think of that and we don't necessarily think of the other ways that they can affect the game outside of, not just sacks, but pressure. I think everybody wants that pressure. And I get it. You want to make the other quarterback on the other side. You want to make him uncomfortable. But I think Lwal Uguak showed that he could play the run. He could bat down balls. He was a smart football player. And really looking forward to talking to him. Before we get to Lwal, I do want to mention that we've got 3, 5, Flex 10, and season ticket packages available right now on goalsgo.com. You can get a 3 or a 5 game pack. Those are self-explanatory. You go online, you pick your 3 games that you want to go to well in advance, and your seat is saved. Same deal for the season ticket, season membership. You get every game in your package. But I will say the Flex 10 is intriguing. If you don't know what it is, I'll explain it. It's very simply, you get 10 tickets to a game, not to a game, excuse me. You get 10 tickets for the season and you can use them whenever you want. So if you decide that you want to use 5 tickets for you and 4 people that 4 friends, 4 family members, and you want to go to the home opener, you want to see, the new Grey Cup banner for 2023 unveiled, well, you can go out there and you can use 5 tickets for that game, and then you can use the remaining 5 tickets for, 5 individual games, or you can go 3 tickets to one game, 2 tickets to another game. So very simple. The Flex 10, if you can't make it to every game, and you want to have the option of going with a gang of people, you want to have some fun at Percival Molson Stadium this year, the Flex 10 might be for you if the season membership just doesn't fit with your schedule. That's what we do here with the Montreal Alouettes. We fix things and we create packages around your schedule. So we want to make sure to see you at Percival Molson Stadium. Make sure you're there all season long, but don't miss out on the home opener. Make sure you show up for the home opener. That's going to be a really emotional game. And I think it's, you got to wait 3 weeks into the season because the first 2 games are on the road. But once the team gets back from Winnipeg and Edmonton, I think there's going to be that excitement of reliving everything that happened in 2023 with the 8 wins in a row, including the Grey Cup game, that dismantling against the Argos, and we'll ask Lwal Uguak about that game against the Argos. But make sure you pick up your ticket packages right now before it is too late. All right, our next guest is a former Montreal Alouettes defensive end. He's now a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's Lwal Uguak. Lwal, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Joey?
I'm living the dream, and really honored that you took the time to jump on the podcast. What's it been like? Has life changed at all since signing in the NFL with the Bucks?
No, not really. I just been training. That's the one thing I've been consistent on. Besides that, I just been, taking time to really focus on what I got to do in the next couple months.
With training, are you doing anything differently? Are you trying to gain some weight? Are you trying to, I don't think you're trying to lose some weight, but are you trying to gain weight? Like what's the goal heading into camp?
Trying to stay consistent. I've been working out with Odell Willis. He's
Yeah.
a former CFL great. Just been doing a lot of D line work and a lot of different kind of training that I've been used to compared to what I did in college. For example, like just a lot of what is it called? Muscle endurance.
Hmm.
We're not doing crazy weight, but we're doing some pretty good weight, around 10 to 15 reps. So getting that muscle endurance now, so that once camp gets going, getting playing in that first 4 downs. So it's not the same as a CFL, 2 downs and you're out, but just making sure that I can stay in the best shape possible for when I'm playing down there.
What's the most you've ever benched out of curiosity?
The most I've ever benched, I think probably like three 370, 380 around there. I got long arms, but that's not an excuse. But
I
I
could,
think I think I think when it comes to on the field, that's really where I show my strength.
I could
You know,
only, I'm saying, oh my gosh, like in a good way, because like you've seen me. What's the most you think I can bench? Like I don't think I've ever really, I mean, I've benched here and there, but how much you think I can put up once?
once
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 225.
Are
You
you
can do two.
nuts? Are you
Hey,
insane?
for
Are you
one rep,
crazy?
185.
Are you
Nah, bro.
nuts?
You stronger than that, bro. I believe
Not
in you,
even
bro.
close. Not. I
I believe
appreciate
in
you.
you.
You're being nice to me. I appreciate it, but not even close. I don't even know. I don't know if I can do 150. Are we counting the bar? Does the bar count?
The bar, yeah, no woman bar, no 35-pound bar. You gotta do the 45 pounds. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. If I hit 3 digits, I'll be happy.
yeah, nah, I believe you. You can definitely hit 3 digits, bro. You can definitely hit 185 for at least one. I think so.
I appreciate you believing in me. Okay, talk to me how this all came about with Tampa Bay. Can you bring me just through the timing, when they first showed interest, and
Hmm.
then I'll have some other NFL workout specific questions later. But just can you walk me through the timeline and how they showed some interest?
Right. So we finished the season November 19th,
Yep.
as Great Cup champs. After that, kind of just we took the time to celebrate things of that nature and slowed down a little bit for those 2 weeks after the Grey Cup. But started picking up my workouts around December. Just talk with my agent and hearing that there's a possibility. Not not saying to not get my hopes up, but just know that there's a possibility that he's going to vouch for me when it comes to teams looking for future players, especially from the CFL.
Hmm.
So around December, I want to say like December 9th or December 8th.
Hmm.
I was informed that I have a shot at getting the workout. They were in contact, and then by the 11th for sure, that's when I knew it was 100%, and I was already down in Tampa December 15th doing my workout. Um, did the workout. It was a couple of long snapper, receiver, a couple guys that were working out. There's four of us D linemen. Did some bag drills, did some get offs, some movement. They just wanted to see how I could move. And after the workout, I pretty much got confirmation that they were pretty interested. Um, had pretty good idea that I was gonna get signed, but they were still in the season, so we couldn't say anything was 100% just yet. They went to the playoffs. I think they won the wild card and still postponed things a little bit. But
Yeah.
after they lost to the Lions, that's when things started rolling a little bit. I didn't know whether I was going to sign here at home or what they wanted to do, but I want to say January 27th or 25th around there, they informed me that they wanted me to come down to do a physical before they signed me. So went down there. They did the physical on the 30th. After the physical, everything came back good, healthy throughout the season. Uh, Not too many nicks and bruises, but they told me that everything was green, good to go, and we signed on the spot. Announced it the same day. Came home and just went straight back to work because I knew that was the easy part. The hard part was just getting back in the lab and just taking advantage of the time that I have off before I go down there.
No celebratory dinner, nothing like that?
Uh, the day I came back, I met up. My boy picked me up from the airport. It was kind of late, so we got a couple drinks, but nothing too crazy. No, no celebratory dinner. Actually, now I think about it, we didn't do too much, but I knew I, I was pretty excited, but I know it's like that excitement only lasts for such a short time because now it's just real, right? It's like
Yeah.
can't rest on your laurels. Can't just sit back and say, oh, they signed me now. Now what? Now just straight to work. Went to the lab the next day.
Who was when you got out or when you found out that they were, confirmed that you were signing, who was the first phone call you made to?
Um, so they had a couple of us. They drove us back from the airport. I went straight to the airport. I was in Tampa. I was in their facility for less than like 4 hours.
What?
I got there the night before, um, pretty late. I
Wow.
stayed in the hotel. Woke up at 7 a.m. and then was done by like 11, and my flight was at 4 p.m. So
Jeez.
I was at the airport longer than I was on the plane in the airport longer than I was even in the facility. So it was a quick little turnaround. Called my mom as soon as I got to the airport, got through customs. Told her the deal was done. She doesn't have social media, so she didn't see all the stuff on Twitter and on my Instagram and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I had to let her know first. Once I called her, I kind of put my phone on D&D. I was
Yeah.
just trying to not trying to get my phone to blow up, but I definitely, for everybody that reached out, I tried my best to get back to them and say thank you and appreciate the support.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Mhm.
I know you weren't there long, but what was the coolest thing you saw at the facility or at the stadium? If you went to the stadium when you signed or your physical or whatever, did you see anything crazy?
Um, this was my second time because the workout, right. I did the workout back in
Yeah.
December, but they got a really nice hallway that has all the moments from their Super Bowl season with Tom Brady and Gronk. They got the Didn't do too much touring, but you could see that they're very prideful in their program. Seeing Warren Sapp from the 90s and the 2000 early 2000s when they won it with John Gruden, and just like really immersing myself and really seeing okay, I'm back here for the second time. And the first time it was a maybe, it was a workout, just nothing, just thinking about doing my best, and now it's okay. Now I'm putting pen to paper, and this is where I'm going to be for the next couple months. So it's just really exciting to even be in that facility. They got a nice spot, nice little compound there. They got the field, they got the indoor facility, and they got their facility where they get ready for practice and all that stuff. So it's really nice to be around there.
You before getting to training camp with the Alouettes in 2023, I think you had workouts with was it the Falcons and Giants? Is that right?
Yeah, it was Falcons and Giants.
How much did those prepare you for what you got in December in Tampa Bay? Or like do you feel like, it's all different, every team does it differently and it didn't really affect anything?
Uh, I would say most teams do it differently. The workouts back in May before I came to Alouettes, it was New York. New York, I'm not gonna lie. Thinking back on it, I don't think New York didn't sign anybody from
Yeah.
the tryouts or the mini camp. It was more of a formality, in my opinion. We just did Indy. We didn't do any team. We didn't do any drills where you can really highlight your ability and stuff like that. More mainly just Indy and then take our picture and then we go. Atlanta was more of a tryout. There was opportunities. I think I did pretty good there, but it really came. They signed two of the DNs that were in our group were already signed, and one was drafted and one was signed and,
Right.
right after the draft. So like I wasn't saying I had no shot, but I know that like I definitely left a good impression on them. It just came down to something that it was just, numbers wise, it wasn't in my favor, but I didn't really hang my head too much. The next day I went back to Texas and I was in Montreal with all my suitcases and everything,
Yeah, that's
on
right.
to the next chapter. So Tampa was the workout was definitely a lot different. More the mini camp and all that stuff is really just to get, I think it's to get the rookies to just really understand how practices go and how the playbook works and everything, and how the attention to detail and all that stuff is important at the level. Like it's kind of like a camp. It's pretty basically like camp for 3 days, for 2 days. The workout was really just do these 5, 6 drills, and then you're out. You're back changing in the change room, on the plane, back going back home. We'll let you know later on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some Alouettes flavor in the NFC South. Have you had a chance to speak to Austin Mack at all, who signed with the
Oh yeah,
Falcons?
no, I haven't. I congratulated him we congratulated each other on our on what we did. I just forgot. I forgot that we do have a chance of seeing each other
Yeah.
in preseason and stuff like that, because they're in our division. So that's pretty cool now that I think about it. I'm happy that he got his done. Coming back from the NFL to the CFL and doing what he did this year was pretty spectacular to watch. But yeah, now I guess we're division rivals, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how things go.
Did you fully expect, like, you got to see him up close? Like, did you fully expect that he would wind up in the NFL with the season he had?
I think so. He was putting up some crazy numbers. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I don't know if he dropped a highlight tape, but if you really look at put like a minute highlight tape together of his clips, and he did some crazy things. My favorite moment from him is probably, I know everyone's gonna say the Grey Cup, but the catch, I forget who we were playing. I think it was Winnipeg. The catch he had on the right side, like in the corner of the end zone.
Oh, that was BC.
BC, yo, that was crazy. Like that was actually crazy. Like my jaw dropped when I saw that. Like that's still better than the Grey Cup catch in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I knew he had that it factor, and it definitely paid off with him getting signed back with the Falcons, back in the NFL.
I'm imagining at some point you had a chance to talk to the GM in Tampa, Jason Light. I'm curious, like, did they give you, objectives? Like, do they just, once they sign you, do they give you, I'm assuming you're on some type of workout program that they'll give you, but is there any messaging at all? Is it just, show up to OTA or mini camp or whatever and then get ready for training camp? Like, what's the messaging like from an NFL team when you get signed in the off season?
So most of the contact I haven't contacted the GM.
Yeah.
They're probably looking towards the draft and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm not an important player, but I'm saying, like, I think their objectives are kind of, once the season ends,
Yeah.
they kind of look towards, the future. And I've been really in contact with the director of player personnel, and I forget her job, but she was the one that kind of made my contract. Her name's Peyton.
Yeah.
So just really just with the faculty staff and all that stuff, just getting comfortable with them, and what they expect out of me. We haven't been we're getting in talks now because I'm about to travel down there pretty soon. So that's really the contact we're on right now. I think they kind of expect you to, like, your futures, you got a futures contract. If you're not, I don't think we need to tell you what to do, but you got to go do it. So I kind of got that kind of vibe from them, and that's exactly what I did. I came home and started training pretty really consistently Monday to Friday, just knowing that I'm almost like preparing for the worst. I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna be in really, really good shape. We're on pace for it. We've been me and my trainer have been like on a good 8-week program, eating well, training Monday to Friday, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're doing individual D line work, kind of getting back into that American football, especially because it's not a yard off the ball anymore. So
Yeah.
just taking advantage of the time we have now, so that once I get there, I hit the ground running.
Did you pick a number yet?
No, I didn't. I think that stuff is probably take care of that once I get there. And even if honestly at this point, I don't care what number they give me,
Yeah.
because I want to show them that if I can ask for a number, I'm gonna prove it, and I'm gonna show them that, that, like, okay, this guy's not just here for fun. I'm really here for business, and I'll
Yeah.
do whatever they ask me to, as best as I can.
Did you have a chance to like? I don't know if you had a chance to cross it. I'm imagining you didn't cross any players, but how about the news? I mean, it's a big week. They re-signed Baker Mayfield. They re-signed
Yeah.
Mike Evans. I mean, there's some
hmm
big stuff going on there.
Yeah, yeah, they did. I seen a couple. I'm not gonna lie. When I went there, it's pretty empty because their season ended late. You
Yeah,
know, that means they have a shorter off season. So I know those guys were pretty quickly to get out of there and go get their vacation or just take their time off from football. There was a couple guys when I was there when I was doing the physical. One of the DNs, he was a rookie draft pick last year, and one of the tight ends were there getting some work done. But besides that, they sometimes it's just like, oh, this is that it's such a winding door. Players come in, players come out.
yeah.
So it's not. I think that those kind of relationships will kind of come in through camp and how I leave an impression on other people once I'm down there and we're in training camp and all we're focusing on is football.
I'm curious where do you feel you improved most in 2023 as a football player, and how much did a year in the CFL get you ready to make the leap to the NFL and Tampa Bay?
Honestly, I think it just came down to confidence about getting playing again and being in that mode where where I feel like I can really do anything. I think once the coaches kind of gave me that green light and said, okay, like we know the type of player you are, just go within our playbook, go do what you can do. And I feel like I did that, and it kind of gave me that confidence to know that okay, I've always been this kind of player. Um, things didn't really go my way when I was at TCU, but that's I think that's all part of the story. So I'm just glad that I was able to get that second chance to come in and really prove myself from the ground up. From the moment I came into camp, they kind of knew that I had some factors to me that would some characteristics that'll help me in the future, especially in this game. Where I strike my hands, how I play the run, how I play the pass, and how versatile I am. So I think playing one season in the CFL kind of just put a spotlight on the things that I think that I'm good at. They put me all across the line this last season, so I was able to showcase my versatility. I was able to get to the quarterback. I was able to knock passes down. I was able to stop the run. So, I feel like I was really a three-dimensional player, and that's something that I've always been, and I think I got to really show it this last season.
How tough was because like people just remember the end of the season where you lit it up and you were making multiple big plays
Uh-huh.
every game. But I mean, people forget at the start of the year. I mean, you guys had two defensive ends that starting players that didn't finish the year with Usher
hmm
and Jamal Davis. And it's funny, both guys signed in Hamilton this winter, so they're together
Right,
again. But like,
right.
how tough was it for you to wait for that opportunity where you became a starter and you played on defense most snaps? And I mean,
Uh-huh.
you and Lemon made an incredible duo. You guys had very different roles, but still coming off the edge, you guys were effective in your own ways. How
Yeah.
tough was it to be patient and to wait for that opportunity? And did you ever think to yourself, like, man, if I don't get on the field more, I may not be able to showcase myself to the NFL?
Right. Honestly, I early on when I first got there, because like I said, last season I was we played a more rotational defense, so I didn't really get to open up as much.
Yeah.
And then coming into the CFL, I was kind of like, okay, now I got a chance to prove myself and really play this game at the level that I know I could play. And then I think I had to throughout camp and throughout like preseason was great because I was playing most of those snaps. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and kind of get in my groove again. Just getting that confidence back. And then once the season started, those guys are starters before I got there. They have respect around the league, so it's kind of hard to just push them to the side and throw a rookie in there. But it took me a little bit to understand that. I was just kind of like, okay, like damn, like still waiting for my opportunity again.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with this before, and now I'm dealing with it again. But then I had to sit back and say, okay, like these guys were here before you. These guys have respect already. They're getting paid. They got to play. Like when I get my opportunity, I'll go and show that once you put me on for and you really let me warm up and get right on the field, then you might not want to take me off.
Yeah.
And even though it went like 13 weeks, like because it was really
In Calgary, right?
yeah, that was when I got my no, it was we played Toronto back to back, and
Yes. Oh, yeah,
that
that's
was
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh
of course.
so the first Toronto game was kind of like, okay, we lost to them. Did we play them 3 times? I think we played them three times.
It was back to back times, and it was like three times in a short amount of time.
Okay, yeah, because we played them early on in the year and we
Yeah.
lost in a bad fashion. We were like, okay, we got to get these guys back. And by then we were already on like a 4 game losing skid, and we were playing them and at their home with the white jerseys, and it wasn't the best showing, to be honest. Like we were kind of, they kind of ran with it. Things started later on in the fourth quarter. We knew like with the start of the fourth quarter, we were down like two touchdowns, like 38-17. And coach was just like, okay, like you go finish the game. Just don't think too much and this and that. It's kind of just prepping me for letting me know that I'll go in and finish out the game. And the first few plays is like, okay, finally, I get to really show that I can play and show that I could do this. And once I kind of got in that mode, I'm not saying I had a crazy game, but I came in, I had a tackle, and I stuck to my keys. Um, didn't hurt the defense in any way. Just played the game that I know how to play, smart football. And then that week we knew we were playing Toronto again, and coach kind of said, "Hey, like, you're gonna be playing this game. You may not start, but you're gonna get the majority of the reps." And once he gave me that green light all week, I just felt that fire burning in me again, and just knowing that, okay, like here's your opportunity, like you know what to do with it. Um,
Didn't you have a sack and a batted down ball like back
I
to
had
back, or
a
was it a tackle for loss and a batted down ball back to back?
Yeah. So they really liked that stretch play. Like, from watching film, that was one thing too. In that time of me not really playing, I was really like, okay, if I'm not playing right now, I'm gonna come to the facility early. I'm gonna take care of my body. I'm gonna be in the
Yeah.
playbook. I'm gonna watch the film, even if I'm not playing. I'm gonna see what these teams are doing so that when I get a chance, I can exploit them because I know. So they really liked the stretch play when we were playing. When we played Toronto the first time, they really like that stretch where they kind of move the O line. They'd kind of do elephants on parade and let Outlet find a hole and run. So the O lineman kind of got off the ball late, and I punched him in the chest, and then I
Yeah.
seen that Outlet was trying to bounce it outside, and I think they were coming from the boundary. And CFL, the field's long, so I was like, okay, like okay, you guys are really just gonna try to run me to the sideline, and I kind of got a grip of his shoulder pad. TFL, I was like, okay, and I was by then I was in that mode. I was like, next play, let's go. That was first down, second down. It's funny because I actually made a mistake on the second play. I was supposed to stay outside because we had a blitz off the other edge. So I was rushing up the field and he kind of gave me the inside, took an inside move, kept rushing, got my hand up and blocked the pass on the second play. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not getting off the field because these are the type of plays that I know I can make. And these are the type of plays that I know. Like, look at the crowd. Like, look at the stadium right now. They're all doing this because they're all up and rowdy against a rival, in my opinion, a team that we need to beat, and they're going crazy because they're like, oh wow, this rookie just came in and did this in 2 plays, and we haven't seen him do anything like this all year because he hasn't been playing. And I was like, okay, bet. Let me go back on the field and keep playing my keys and keep playing the game I know I can play. And it just went on from there. Kind of snowball affected into the game against Calgary. Had some family in Calgary. I knew I had to show up for them, and man, don't get me that Calgary game. I was laser focused because I
Oh
knew
yeah.
that was first real start, and we were playing in Alberta too. Something about that air, you know what I mean? Some of that
Yeah.
Alberta air got it in my veins, and it took me back to high school where I was doing the same thing. So I think I had like
Yeah.
four TFLs that game, a couple tackles, and a batted ball, something like that. But I definitely didn't look back after that
When
game.
you, yeah, when you mess up, like you said, the Toronto game, you didn't do the right thing, but you have a batted down ball at the line of scrimmage. Kind of hard for your coach to come back and tell you off, no?
Yeah. I mean, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that we talk about in film. I mean, you don't if you make the play, everything's all good. But if Chad Kelly, who doesn't really, I guess he didn't really want to. I think we had an extra defender out there because there was three of us, 3D linemen. So he
Yeah.
didn't run. But I think a lot of teams didn't kind of respect us. So like they didn't really. They're like, okay, like I'll just I'll dump it off, easy, quick little pass. I don't think he had too much intention behind it. But I was like, okay, if you're gonna throw that right over my head, I'm sick. I got long arms, bro. He's gonna have to do better than that.
Have you ever seen or have you ever played against a quarterback who looked as I don't want to say confused, but I'll say confused and off balance as Chad Kelly did in the East Final? Because
Oh,
that was
bro, don't.
something you guys were. I think that is the single best team defensive performance I've seen in professional sports in my lifetime.
Yeah, don't even get me started, bro. I was actually on the phone with Lemon last night,
Yeah.
and we were talking about it. I was like, yo, I rewatched the Hamilton game, the Toronto game, and the Grey Cup in like the last week. And I was like, bro, when you really watch that whole Toronto game, it's like, and you hear the commentators and you hear the fans and you see everything that's going on, and it's like, yo, that was the craziest like that was one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. I'm not gonna lie, like I love the Grey Cup. I'm telling you, the Grey Cup was a nice cherry on top, but leading up to the Grey Cup, some of the things we did on defense was insane. Because that Toronto game, that the game should go down. That game is gonna go down in history because six interceptions or four interceptions and like
To
and they try
stop
to
short yardage twice with a yard
yeah.
between the ball.
What I'm saying, like I don't think like sadly they didn't respect us at all, and that was sadly for them, not for us, because we were
Yeah.
like, okay, bet. Like I was like, okay, you guys are gonna run with Chad Kelly, okay, and they're gonna trust their O line is okay. Their O line was. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just saying like they 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 didn't have respect for us at all. They thought they were just gonna leap over the O line, like okay, stop them once. They're like and really watching the game. I'm saying this because it's so fresh in my memory. But really watching the game and seeing them, we didn't get this first down, and it was like the second turnover. Like, all good, we'll get them next time. They're not. There was no urgency from them. There was no urgency from them until Chad Kelly threw that pick to Enzo, that pick
Yeah.
six, and they were like, oh crap, like
Yeah.
we're down. I've thrown two pick sixes and two other interceptions. Got forced fumbled on, and it took until that last pick six for them to be like, okay, like sound the alarms, bro. We might actually lose to these guys at home in the worst fashion ever. Like we turn the ball over, Lemon comes strip sack. Like that type of stuff back to back, like that stuff
Yeah.
demoralizes the team, bro. And being a part of that, like I had a block pass and I was like, I looked back at the sideline, like, yo, y'all do not respect us, bro. Y'all just had a turnover the last series. Y'all gonna come back and you're gonna try something, it doesn't work, and then we're just gonna bat the ball down and then you're off the field. Like we could play this a game all game. Keep coming with that. It came in our favor, and I was just so happy. That locker room after, and like really watching the film after, and knowing we were going to the Grey Cup, it was like, okay, we're not losing. We're not losing this Grey Cup after what we just did to this team. Put too much confidence in it.
Yeah. You know what's funny what you just said, and I was curious because I was going to follow up with that, but you said the Grey Cup was the cherry on top. It's funny because I think most fans that I've spoken to, and I feel the same way as you, and it feels weird to say that the championship game was the cherry on top, but to me, I mean that Toronto performance, that Toronto game, like on a loop. I've rewatched it multiple times, and surprisingly, most fans felt the same way. They felt like that was the moment. It was so dominant, and it was such a beating to a team that talks so much crap, who went 16
Mm-hmm.
and 2, and they
Mm-hmm.
just, they let their gums fly all year. It was impressive to me. I don't know that there's another team. I'm trying to think in recent memory, even in the NFL, like an AFC or an NFC title win that was more special than the Super Bowl. None come to mind, but that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad you said that because it really felt that way.
Yep. Yep. You could just see, like, you could really see they were coming in with that kind of confidence. They're like, beat him for a third time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know in any sport where you beat a team like you beat a team three, four times, especially the way they beat us in those other games. It was like, last second field goal or
Yeah.
block kick or blown coverage, throwing in the back of the end zone with 2 seconds. We were beat. We were with. If you rewatch those games, we were winning throughout the whole game. We were with them neck and neck. It was just those small little details. And by the time that's the team that you should be scared of the most. The teams that didn't clean up the details as much during. It's a long season, bro.
Yeah.
The team that could almost beat you and they couldn't get that final detail. And then once they get it, it's like, okay, damn, this is the team that we should have been scared of. They
Yeah.
were thinking ahead. I know for a fact. They're like, okay, I know they woke up that morning. They said, okay, let's beat these guys and win the pick next week. Like, let's just spank these guys real quick and we'll go next week. Let's just come on. We got to just take care of this and then we'll be good. It's like that workout on Friday. Like you win
Yeah.
that workout, you go hard that workout, but just know on the other side, you're chilling. Nah, bro, we were not gonna let that happen. You could tell. Like, you could really tell every single time they tried to come out with something, we had to answer, and we had to like, and it was a bad answer for them.
Yeah. Um, you said you just rewatched all the playoff games, including the Grey Cup.
Yeah,
How
Hamilton, Toronto, and the Grey Cup.
how many times when you were watching? How many times did you go back and rewind on the hit you had on Oliveira?
I watched it. I watched it a couple of times. I can't lie. That was like my like I don't want to say like Calgary was the coming out moment. Like showing everybody that okay, this guy can really ball. Can he keep it going? And it's like okay, next week he has a strip sack in Edmonton. The next week he's still doing his thing, playing good football. And it was like the Grey Cup. I'm not gonna lie. There have been a few games in my career where I've been like, I'm locked in for every game, but there's the game like provincial championship in high school. No one can tell me anything. No one's gonna push me, or no one's gonna like. It's my. I'm the main character in this game, and like I've saved Clemson in 2021 when we played them while I was at UConn. I felt the exact same way. There's just some of those games where it's like, okay, no one's gonna be able to like this guy's just playing on a different level, and I felt that moment as soon as I woke up early, did my routine. I was like, okay, this is one of those ones. We've been here for a week. Uh, I didn't go to no events. I didn't do any of that stuff. I stayed in my room. I rewatched the ESPN, not ES, TSN classics. They got all the
Yeah.
other Grey Cups and this and that, and like I kind of felt that same like yo like these guys probably disrespecting us too, man. Like, and if I'm I remember there was a moment on the field where I was just like, yo, there's nothing that these guys can do that can stop us as a team. And I felt that way. And like missed tackle, yo, bro, we gotta get it next play. If some like everybody was on the same cylinder, yo, we need you to like you gotta be locked in on all things because it's like this is the Friday, this is the game. You go crazy. You go crazy as you can. You focus to the T, and you win this game. Now you're in history forever. Like we
Yeah.
didn't come this far. We didn't do what we did to Toronto last week. We didn't win the last 6 games just to come here and lose. Like that's just such a sad story. Like nah, we want the cherry on top. And when we didn't score on the 1 yard line right before halftime, we were in the locker room. We were saying the same. I was repeating the same probably 5, 6 phrases. I don't care who heard me. That rookie stuff is out the window. You know how they treat rookies when they come. Hey, you can't talk. Like, nah, I did not care. No one was telling me anything that I couldn't do. I'm spewing the same 5, 6 words, phrases, or whatever, trying to motivate the team, trying to motivate the O lineman. There's guys on the O line that are 12, 13 years older than me. Like, I'm letting them know, like, yo, we need you. We need you. We need all this. Everything happened for a reason. We didn't score. Well, we're about to go out there and do the same thing. We're about to get right back. This game is not over. I know they're in that locker room saying, like, like we just stopped them on the 1 yard line. These guys are probably so demoralized. Nah, we're in the locker room turn. We're ready to go back out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like, and because when we were when I was in the college football playoffs, like those long half
Yeah.
times and the celebrate, like, nah, bro, I don't want to take a break right now. Like, let's go back on the field. Like, let's go finish this thing. Like, yeah, we can get a little 10 minute, but 25 minute halftime, like
Yeah.
that's too long. That's way too long.
Well, you guys used the time productively. You
Uh
made it.
huh.
You guys all made it one of the greatest moments of my lifetime. I mean, honestly, it was incredible to be there. It was incredible to follow you guys all year long. And I was really intrigued by you when you first got to Montreal because I was
Yep.
familiar with your game. I knew what you had going on, and I was curious to see how quickly you would adapt. And you
Uh huh.
did. I'm really really happy for you. I'm disappointed. I'm not going to get to see you in training camp here, but really happy that you did this.
Uh
Those are for selfish reasons, but I'm going to speak for a lot of people when I say in the city that the fans, the employees at the Alouettes, you made a lot of friends here. You made a lot of fans here, and we're
huh.
all rooting for you. I hope I never see you in an Alouettes uniform again. I want to be watching you on Sunday, week in and week out. And I know I have no doubt that you're going to give it your best shot. And I hope I never see you again. I hope the next time I see you is because I come down to Tampa Bay and you show me around. I'll even buy, even though you're going to be a big time hot shot prospect, I'll even buy dinner. Okay.
I got you, man. Yo, Joey, you were one of those guys. You were one of the early believers, bro. So you're always in my corner, bro. For real, I appreciate you calling today. Happy to get a chance to talk with you again. I know it's been a little minute. Hey, No surprise, no guarantees, but you might see me at the Grey Cup, the ring ceremony. So I'm
Okay.
gonna try. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
get down there for sure.
Good. Yeah, I hope I do, but I'd like from now on, I only want to see you play on Sunday and occasionally on Thursday nights or on Monday nights, okay? Nothing else.
Yes, sir. I got you, bro.
Hey, Lwal, appreciate you taking the time, man. I kept you way longer than I promised, but I appreciate you sticking around, and we'll hopefully catch up real soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. It was good talking to you.
Great dude. How about those quotes on the East Division final against the Toronto Argonauts? And like I told him, I agree. I agree with what Lwal's saying. I think that win over Toronto was just putting it into perspective. I'm not saying the Grey Cup wasn't special. The way that game ended was something I'll never forget. One of the great sporting memories I'll ever have in this lifetime. But that win against Toronto was just something different. It was just different to go there, overcome the three losses that they had this year, overcome the loss to the East final last year. To me, I mean, like I said, it was special, and it was one of the great defensive performances I've seen in all my years watching pro sports. So, really fun catching up with Lwal Uguak, and wishing him again all the best as he tries to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster this fall, this August. I guess. All right. That's all the time we have for this week's edition of the PodcAls. Just a reminder, follow us all over social media. You can find us on X. You can find us, that's at MTL Alouettes. You can find us on Facebook, like our page. You can find us on Instagram as well. You can find us on TikTok. We've got different content that goes all over different platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to this podcast wherever you get it. Leave a nice little rating for us, 5 stars if you can, and leave us a nice little comment. But we appreciate the support. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. We'll be back with the French podcast on Thursday.